Hello everyone again. Yeah, it's been such a wonderful season. I just want to quickly share with us one of the things that stood out to me last week. We had this event for singles tagged "What's Your Type," and it was a lot of fun, a lot of games. It was actually a wonderful time. Our main resource person was Lady Kems. Mrs. Kemi Fred Adetiba, my partner, my wife, and my best friend. She was the vessel that God used, to speak to us, to speak to the singles in the house. And one of the things that she said that I want to, amplify and to use to encourage someone out there this morning is that it takes a God-fearing man or woman to identify a God-fearing man or woman. All right, so because people are always looking for God-fearing partners, God-loving and God-fearing partners. But for you to actually be able to identify a God-fearing and a God-loving partner, you yourself, you will have to be God-loving and God-fearing. Without you being God-loving and God-fearing, you will not be able to know someone else who is God-loving and God-fearing. If the technology is not inside of you, you won't be able to know. And that was what we saw in the life of in Adam. When Adam saw Eve, Adam just knew, out of every other thing that God created, Adam knew that Eve was different. And he said, "That is the flesh of my flesh, the bone of my bones." So he knew that Eve was taken out of him. All right, there was a gene, a DNA, and a type that he was, and from that type, he was able to identify his partner. And there were different other animals and other entities in the garden, but he was aware. He knew that Eve was different. He knew that Eve was taken out of him. And so the same thing applies to us, and the same thing is still valid today. All right, for you to actually be able to identify a godly man, you have to be godly yourself. For you to be able to identify a God-fearing woman, you have to be God-fearing yourself. For you to be able to identify a God-loving woman, you have to be a God-loving man yourself. So it's very, very, very important. And that's why we look at your type. For you to be able to discover your type, you need to know who you are. If you are godly, then you'll be able to identify your type that is godly. And so that really, really blessed me. And I just feel like sharing that quickly with someone this morning to say, see, the best way of identifying your spouse or your partner is knowing who you are. Knowing who you are, and for you to know who you are, you have to go back to your Creator. You have to go back to God, because He's the one who designed the real you. And I want to use the opportunity to also say that you are not who you've been culturally defined to be. You're not who your background has defined you to be. That's a form of you that's the counterfeit of you. The real you is the original design that God had of man when He created you, and that is what you need to equalize with. And once you equalize with that, all right, and you become God-loving, God-fearing, it will not be difficult for you to identify your partner that God Himself has crafted for you, who is also God-loving and God-fearing. And so it's important to discover who you are in God, so you're able to discover your spouse. There are too many failed marriages around us, and it's gradually even becoming the norm. There was a research that came out recently that in Abuja, between January and February, that there had been over 4,000 divorce suits that had been filed. That is a crazy number. That's a crazy number. And so if you're watching this, I want to say that yours can be different. And one of the things you need to be different and not to be part of that kind of statistics is for you to discover who you are in God, and then you're able to discover the person that God has crafted for you. I hope this blesses you. I will, again, pick on other points, that came from her sharing, and I'll be, putting them out to be a blessing to particularly single people out there. God bless you.